The reason I love art is because it's great to do when you're bored. It's a great escape when things are really stressful. And for me personally, it's something that I'm not horrible at. So it's a nice like confidence boost and like something I can focus on and something like that's mine. It's my own. I can do this well enough. And it's just so much fun to get like what's in your mind onto a paper and watch it come to life. It's just great. It is art.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Congratulations, Bree, on being our Artist of the Week. Bree is amazing. She's in painting and in IB art, so you'll be seeing a lot from her coming up the rest of this year and next year. So as far as our news and announcements go, the big thing that I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of is you've heard us mention the last couple of weeks that there's a lot of art shows and competitions still coming up, so we need finished artworks for that. I got another email. Oops, I'm shaking the table. I got another email this week about another show that's coming up. So I'm planning this weekend to put together that calendar/choice board that's all about art shows and art competitions with their due dates. So be on the lookout for that next week. And then if there's any shows or competitions you're interested in, please make sure you go work on artworks for that. Message me, talk to me, whatever, and we will definitely get your work submitted. Maria Gonzalez enters just about every single one of them and usually ends up getting recognized. So really cool. Make sure you get on that. Those look great on your portfolios.
All right, so just a heads up about next week. So it is an evens week this week, odd classes. You guys saw us 3 times. That was fun. You had 5 hours in the studio, and I hope you knocked out some really, really cool stuff. Evens next week is your week to have 5 hours with us, and you want to really make sure that you're using that time, really investing, really making sure that you are taking that opportunity to work toward your artistic growth. Some stuff that you might want to take note of before we even start next week, so you can kind of get an idea of what it is that Ms. Grant and I are looking for with your artworks each week. There is an examples page, and in your week 6, page, you're going to see, Ms. Grant scroll through it. But you could go ahead and scroll through it too, because it's already on your canvas. But all of the things that are in there are really incredible. They are, above and beyond what we're looking for. They're, these fantastic pieces that like show that significant progress, that are hitting all the points on the rubric, that are really investing in that artistic mindset. So go look at that.
And one of the things that you guys need to keep in mind, because most of you'll be submitting today or over the weekend, is when you are submitting your artwork, what you're seeing when you look through those example pages is artwork that not only is really well done, but it's a good quality portfolio photograph. So some of you are submitting some work that's good work, but we can't post it because what you're submitting photo-wise is not portfolio quality. So make sure you go back in my pages and in Ms. Darling's pages up under the important stuff or somewhere in there is directions on how you take a portfolio quality photograph of your artwork. So make sure you're doing that. If you're still not clear, message one of us, because it needs to be portfolio quality photographs. A, so that we can post them for shows, and there's a lot of virtual shows coming up. B, because that's part of your craftsmanship and presentation grade. So on that rubric where it says craftsmanship and presentation, how you present your work, the quality of your photograph is part of that grade. So you want to make sure you're taking a good quality photograph. And then also, if we can't see it well, if it's an angle that's too dark, it's hard for us to give you a good grade or the correct grade on it because we're not real sure what we're looking at. Even with your reflections, some of you are submitting reflections that are really dark. I can't read that. So good quality images for all your submission are really, really important. Then the other thing too is with your reflections, very few people are getting full points on those reflections, guys, because you're not really telling us what your process is. Some of you are saying, okay, I got a canvas and I drew on the canvas and I painted it. We are artists. We know how to make a painting. We know that you sketch it out and you paint it. We don't need you to tell us that. What we need you to tell us is how did you get to that point? How did you come up with your idea? How did you make that decision? Pick something that was a choice you made and explain to us how you made it, why you made it, what this means. Give us some insight into your process that we don't already know. Does that make sense? And you need to explain that to us clearly. So I've had so many that I've read this week that said, so I ran into this problem. Here's the problem I have, but then I solved it. How'd you solve it? It's like you're giving me more questions. Give me answers. So that's how you're going to get your points for your reflections.
My recommendation for you guys would be to submit the video reflection. One of the things that Ms. Grinder and I are noticing as we're grading is that those of you that are submitting the videos, because you're just like rambling at us and you're just telling us this whole story, and like as you're pointing to things in your sketchbook, we're like, yeah, I see it. And it's really helping us to be able to evaluate you, for one, on the thoroughness of your reflection, but also on like understanding how you spent your time, how you problem solved. All of the components of that rubric definitely are easier for us to assess when you're doing the videos, because you're just telling us so much more than when you're writing everything down.
So I know some of you are a little self-conscious about videos. That's fine. Like I've said before, you don't even have to show us your face. You can just show us your artwork and let us hear you talk about it. But you're telling us a lot more when you're talking than when you're writing.
Or an audio file is fine too.
Yes, so that we know what's going on. Next week's art history is Cindy Sherman. She is a photographer. She is phenomenal. She's a lot of fun. She does film stills. She does selfies, but it's more self-portraits. She sets up her cameras, timers, lighting. She does her own costumes, does her own makeup, does her own hair. And so she turns herself into these characters from old movies and then takes a photograph as if it's a film still from this old movie, but it's her original photograph. So again, we're looking a little bit at appropriation here, kind of an angle of it, but you get to have some fun with playing dress up and shooting some photographs. And then if you're really into drawing and painting too, this would be a fun thing to do, and then turn around and make a drawing or a painting of it. So yeah, look at Cindy Sherman next week for your art history. Really cool artist.
All right. Last thing that we wanted to do is to promote one of our choice artwork options. So you will see under the painting bar that there is something called ink and watercolors. Okay, and it's really, really fun. So this is one that a previous student had started and didn't have the chance to finish. But so notice how everything here is in this box. And then we start to break out of the box. So it has you do that. You can choose anything that you want to explore, and you'll start to draw it out. And then in this area outside the box, that's where you're going to incorporate that ink, that really high contrast. You can use Sharpie, you can use pen, whatever you'd like. But we really want to see that break away from that really smooth modeling that you're doing with the watercolor to that nice graphic style of the Sharpies. And it'll be in an environment that makes sense with the subject matter that you've chosen. It's a really fun project. It's really cool to do. And the end product is like really incredible.
Yeah. All in all, guys, we're really excited to see what a lot of you are doing as far as now that you can just kind of go your own direction. We're getting some of the best artwork that we've seen all year from some of you guys. Some of you guys, I don't know if you're just not buying into it or you don't quite understand, but this is your opportunity to be the kind of artist you want to be. If you're in a painting class, it doesn't mean you have to do painting. If you want to go do photography or you want to go do sculpture, go do whatever you want to do, except for ceramics.
Yep,
no
sorry.
ceramics, but we do have 3D. There's, we've got modeling clay. You can build stuff with cardboard. So there is 3D, there is sculpture, just not ceramics.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I think the art history that I'm going to do week after next is going to be 3D based.
Ooh,
so we'll look
that'll
at a
be
3D artist. Yes, and we'll get into that. Okay. So do what you want to do. You do you. Figure out what that is and run with it. Have fun, guys, and we can't wait to see what y'all are up to. Okay? Have a great weekend.
bye.
Bye.